Morning, everybody. I didn't do conscious coffee yesterday. I just realized that. I mean, I realized it yesterday, but I just realized it again. Yesterday was definitely one of those days. One of those days where you just kind of let go and let flow and enjoy life just the way it is, which I think is a key factor to everything. This morning started very early for me. It started around 5 o'clock, just a little after 5 a.m. with kids and all that good stuff. And this morning it was very interesting. I took my boys over to their dad's house because swap day on kids and everything, and it's his weekend, and I'm so looking forward to it. Don't tell anybody out there, but man, am I looking forward to no mommy duty this weekend. Well, I still have mommy duty. I'm never without mommy duty. That's the truth. I mean, with 7 children and 4 grandbabies, you always have mommy duty, but I don't have little kids this weekend, and I'm really looking forward to it. It's the first weekend that I don't have anything massively going on, and I'm not expected to be anywhere for months. This has not happened for months, where it's just like I'm not traveling, I'm not doing anything. I have romantic getaway weekend scheduled on my calendar, and yeah, I am good with that. That romantic getaway weekend might be to my bathroom retreat called my bathtub and my bedroom, where I'm going to just lock the door and lock myself in there. Occasionally with my guy. We'll let him in there every now and then. But no, this morning I go and I drop the boys off, and I share this with you because I know that I have a lot of people that are very spiritual based that follow me, metaphysical, Christian, every which way, you fly on spiritual terms here. And no matter what belief structure it is, I think that the majority of people do believe in God, universe bringing us signs. Hey, morning, Addison. Morning, Craig. And it's always, I'm a firm believer in signs. I follow signs left and right. Sometimes they don't pop out as much as others, and sometimes they're just like very in my face. Well, this morning, I'll tell you this little story because it's a beautiful story of how God speaks to us. So this morning, my 6-year-old, he's just having this meltdown over our dog that passed last week, who's been in his life, his entire life. I mean, we had her for 12 years, bless her. But so she passed last Saturday, and he was just having this massive meltdown, not wanting to go to school today. Said, I'm sick, I'm tired, I'm this, I'm that, And his dad had to walk him all the way to the school, to the classroom, and go like, so here they're off doing that. I'm back at my ex's house with the 4-year-old, and we're talking about different stuff. And these 2 huskies come running down the middle of the road toward the car and my son and I, and I'm like, oh, look at the dogs. And I'm like watching, where are they going? They don't have collars on, nothing. And they just like run past us, run up the street, and then they round around and are running all over the place. It's beautiful. They're well-kept dogs. So I had this thought go through my head where I see one of the dogs jumping into my car. Now, I was sitting in the car door was open. For some reason, I saw this dog jumping in my front seat of my car. I get out and I'm watching all the school traffic, and I instantaneously start to worry that, that the dogs are going to get hit by some of the cars that do not drive the speed limit through the neighborhood. And so I yelled at the dogs, did clapping and everything to get them to come back that direction towards me. And this dog, she just runs right at me, almost barrels right over me basically, and jumps directly into the driver's seat of the car. And she's just this beautiful dog with, one blue eye and one brown eye, beautiful husky. So I get her she jumps in the car, and she jumps all the way to the back to where my 4-year-old's at, and he's like playing with her and stuff, and she's like, now I just got my car detailed too. And now there's husky hair everywhere, all over the car is husky hair, as a kind little reminder from this dog. So the dog's back there playing with my son, and she's just a puppy herself. Well, the other one's a little bit darker male, And, he's like running around, but he will not leave. He won't go more than one property away because I have his girlfriend locked in my car at this point in time. So he goes and he's like running around. I tried to get him into the car. He was not having it. He's like, nope, nope, nope. Finally, the owner comes along in a minivan. We get the dogs transferred over, saved two huskies. And I was thinking to myself here, I'm like, it's not every day of the week that you end up with two huskies coming through like that and you end up with a random husky in your car. I wonder what the spiritual message is from this. I'm gonna read it when I get home. I will look up the spiritual message of husky. So driving down the road, get my kids settled, with their dad and everything. I leave to come home, driving down the road, and I'm off in La La Land. I am just not really I'm driving, but it was one of those moments of autopilot was definitely on. I was plotting and scheming Costa Rica stuff as I was just envisioning, because today is the first day of tantric practitionership training. So certification program starting up today, live training this afternoon. It's just going to be absolutely awesome. Very, very excited to start that. And we end in Costa Rica. So I'm daydreaming about Costa Rica, and I'm daydreaming about, how I want the retreat to go and where do I want to take everybody on the day that we just go and we play and we run around, and I'm thinking about all this stuff. I was just totally in La La Land over this stuff. When all of a sudden this car moves in front of me on the road, and we're doing 40 miles an hour. This truck moves in front of me and then slows down so that I have to hit my brakes. So I slow down and I look at the back of the car, and it says 2020 security or something like that on it. Their logo, I kid you not, is half of a husky face with one blue eye. So I took a picture of it because I was like, okay, I definitely have to look up the meaning of husky. So I looked up husky, actually at a stoplight. I stopped and looked up husky in that moment and got Google to read it to me. And it's all about strength and tenacity and your desire for freedom and taking paths that I want and that I don't want, but they're always in soul alignment. And that is the point that, here's where I'm going with this whole conversation today is the universe, your soul is always leading you. It is always guiding you. Messages like that, to be aware, to notice, hey, not every day of the week does this happen, and to go, all right, this feels like it's significant. I wonder if it is. Bam, soul brings me another husky. No, you really need to pay attention to this. Now you've had 3 huskies in less than an hour. You've had this occurrence, and I have not seen a husky for months, probably. So it really is important to kind of be more consciously aware. And I know that some people will be like, oh, that's just a bunch of bull bunk. That's crazy. That's just coincidence. And that's all fine and dandy if you don't believe in the synchronicities of life and the spiritual processing. But when we need certain messages, when we are questioning, when we are looking, when we are trying to be very on point and we're looking for different things, when we become aware and open ourselves to the mysteries of this world, we truly do open up also to the messages that come. Soul, God, spirit, creator, universe, whatever you want to call that aligns to your spiritual beliefs, they're out there. They're out there consistently. Soul is always speaking to us, always guiding us. Whether we hear it or not is a different story. Hearing can also be seeing, can also be feeling. And it's recognizing. It's the consciousness. If you are conscious to it or not, that's a different story. But I promise you that when you do wake up from your slumber of not hearing soul, that you're going to get, the messages are always there. The guidance is always there. And it is always getting you into alignment to what you really want, to what your soul wants. And that's what that means, to what your soul wants. This morning I was reminded, there was a point also this morning where energy kind of took a shift bright and early this morning, and I felt some negativity come up on me and everything. And I quickly pivoted to positive thinking, and that's why I put pivot in the title of Conscious Coffee here, well, Conscious Tea Morning, is because I think that along with signs and different messages from soul, one of the biggest things that I can suggest for anybody who is wanting to create that fuck yes life, that's wanting to go, hey, am I in alignment? And that question has come up probably 6 or 7 times from different people this week. Do you think I'm in alignment? Well, I don't know. I'm not you. Only you can really truly know if you're in alignment or not. Are you happy? That's the question to be asking yourself. Because if you feel satisfied, if you feel happy, then you're in alignment. If you do not feel satisfied and happy, then you are not in alignment to what your soul already knows. You are going against the grain of your soul if you are not satisfied and if you are not happy. Your soul knows that you can do this, and if you think that you can't do it and you are fighting it, then no, you're not in alignment. This is where you got to pivot. This is where you make those little subtle changes. And as strange as it might sound, it is one of those things where you've got to change to something that is more of ease to feel good about, more of ease to believe in. Bring your attention to something else. I was just telling Addison yesterday, she was over helping me with stuff and having dinner with me and stuff. And I was telling her, I said, I really got to get back to yoga class. Like, I got to go to yoga class. I feel not only do I feel it physically that I've got to just make that commitment and just get my ass into yoga class like 5-6 times a week again, but I also feel it from a spiritual momentum move that in the commitment of doing that, I'm going to have this breakthrough into 2020 financially, business-wise, with everything that I have planning, being planned out and everything, the dreams, the goals, the daydreams that I live in to manifest the life that I want to create. I need to do certain changes that may not seem like they have anything to do with that, but they have everything to do with that. And, this is where I really truly ask you today to look at your life and go, where am I hardcore focusing in and trying to force something to happen? And I'm not happy about it. And I have major resistance around it. And I'm frustrated. I'm anxious. I'm depressed. I'm angry. I'm worried. I'm fearful. I'm struggling here. I'm trying to make my will happen. Because when you're doing that kind of stuff, you're not letting go and you're not in flow, okay? And that is where the magic happens, is in the state of flow. It's when we are receiving, not when we are making something happen. So if you are forcing thought to happen, if you are forcing creation to happen, then you're not in flow. If you are open and you're receiving, so it's coming to you because you're just open and it just is, because you're worthy of everything, because it's great, it's wonderful, then it just goes click, 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 and magic happens. Just magic happens. And it's a beautiful, beautiful process. Over and over again, I keep getting reminded of that, but it is pivoting that truly does that. And I believe that that's probably the right word for it, is pivoting, because I picture like a basketball player, on the course, and he pivots to change his stance to get, to pivot to throw the ball to somebody else, pivot to go a different direction. And that is exactly what we have to do with our energy through our conscious thinking and actions, is to pivot. And it is truly the thinking process. So when you are struggling and you feel that massive resistance and you feel that pullback and you're worried and you're like, like holding your breath, you got a bag over your head and you can't breathe anymore, well, then it's time to pivot. It's really time to pivot, because you're focused so hardcore on what you want that you're pushing it away from you. So you've got to pivot to something that is of softer energy, something that is easier for you to have satisfaction over, have happiness, have joy over, to connect with, to believe in, because you're not believing this thing right here that you're so hardcore focused on. You've got yourself out of belief. You may want it, your desire may be there, and your desire may be really, really big, but your belief is not matching your desire, therefore it's not gonna happen. Won't happen. It will happen somewhere down there when you let go. When you let go. That's when it happens, is when you just say, F it, I'm done and I surrender. You drop to your knees. That's why it's like, you wonder, why does it always take until that last moment when I finally drop to my knees and go, I can do no more? Because you brought that resistance level up to that. You're the one that's pushing it right up to that, and you're forcing your knees to bend on it instead of just opening up and receiving to it prior to that. And even the best people on the planet struggle with this. It is always a work in progress for each and every one of us, but I promise you that if you practice, it does get easier. It does get easier. You probably never get it 100% right, but it does get easier to start to manifest and to go, oh, I feel this resistance. That means that I need to pivot. I feel worry. That means that I'm not in alignment with my soul. My soul knows that already has me there, has already, planned for it, has already created the path, has things appearing to me, except I'm not seeing them. I'm not hearing them. I'm not feeling them because I'm blind to them, because I'm so resistant to letting go, I'm trying to control it. I'm trying to force it. So I'm not actually seeing, hearing, experiencing everything that soul is bringing to me. I'm missing the opportunities to fully create the path that soul already has aligned for me. But here I am, forcing it. So I ask you today to look at your life and go, all right, where am I forcing? Where am I not letting go? Where do I have worry, fear rising up? Where am I scared to fully step in? Where am I, resisting change, believing that change is always that I can control the way something happens? I was reminded of driving. I was thinking about all of this, of course, and I was thinking about the Huskies, and I was thinking about somebody that I know years ago went off and lost their job, and it came, like all of this desire to change life and to build this life that they wanted, and then they went away for a bit, and then they came back, and when at their return they lost their job. And it was one of those like moments. And I remember there being a lot of emotion in that moment of like, holy crap, like, what am I going to do now? I don't have a job. Yet all the thought and the desire leading up to this moment was, all I want is my freedom. All I want is that I want my freedom. I want to be in charge of my schedule. I don't want to have to go there. This is a waste of my time. This is all this kind of stuff. And all those thoughts were leading up to, the critical change of, well, you're going to lose your job. Now, you don't get to decide, unfortunately, in that moment. When soul goes, hey, all right, this is what you said you want. This is what you said and this is the path that you're on. So you've been talking about it for the last 6 months, a year. Well, here you go. You're fired. And, but we take that as this catastrophe in our life. Oh my God, I lost my job. Actually, it should be like, yay, I lost my job. Like I've been working at manifesting that for a year. I didn't want to be there. I've been so upset for a year because this is where I want to go. Yay, they just set me free. They just gave me, the extra added little boost for that. Last year, I ended up breaking up with my kid's dad of 7 years. We were together almost. And for probably the year, 18 months prior to our breakup, there was a lot of resistance in our relationship. Now, granted, neither one of us wanted to openly admit to that. We were trying our hardest on the outside to try to make it work. But there was not this connection. And I would come to him and I would ask him different questions and everything. And I was, in my head, I'm like, maybe I just need to move. Maybe I just need to go get my own house. Maybe this just needs to happen. Like, maybe that will make our relationship better. Maybe that's what's best for the kids. I'm not happy. Like, I'm not getting connection. We're not having, we're not being connective. This is not the life that I want for myself, for him, or for our children, or any children involved. This is not what I want. This is not my ideal loving picture. And then, one family Sunday afternoon, boom, violence struck, and it went down not the way I would have chosen it to go. I would have preferred a more peaceful exit, But I still got exactly what my soul already knew and what my heart actually wanted. And the last year and a half that it's been now has just been, like a whirlwind. I'm truly more satisfied with my life. I'm happier. I'm in a better space. My children are all in a better space. I think he's happier. We're all happier. The exit plan was not ideal for what I wanted, but it still got to exactly where it needed to be. So in the, looking back in 2020 vision, right? Looking back, no pun intended with the husky there, but to look back at that is to go and recognize, hey, this was perfect. This was perfect because it was successful in getting from point A to point B. I could have, if I had listened, much like the person who lost their job, if they had listened, they could have put in their notice. They could have gone and done, other things. Maybe they needed to go that way because when you get fired, you get, little spiffs at the end of it. If you put in your notice, no, now you're quitting. So maybe that was best. Maybe this was best for, the emotional and you could say karmic debt that needed to happen between my ex and I. Whatever has it, it is still successful, even when it feels traumatic, even when it feels chaotic, even when it feels detrimental, because there's upheaval, because there's worry, because there's fear, because there's pain, physical, mental, emotional. When we have these transitions in life, they are still ideal for getting us to where we want. And we have to remember, a mature conscious way of looking at it is to go, I did this. I'm the one. I've been feeling this. I've not been happy. Maybe I haven't stated it, but if I get real, I have not been happy here. I've not felt satisfied. I've not felt fulfilled. Like, this is not driving for me 100%. So something has to rock the boat. And if you're not going to rock your own freaking boat, well, then your soul kicks in and goes, all right, baby, here we go. You've been asking for this. And now we're going to go get it. We're going to go get it because you need to take that leap. You need to take that step. So just realize that that's there. Now, you can circumvent some of that stuff by paying attention to the signs, by pivoting your energy, by focusing in and letting yourself move properly and learning how to let go. How to let go and stop trying to fear everything. Stop trying, and fear means control, okay? Because that's what that is. That's the ego stepping in, is trying to get you to be in control or feel like you should be in control. And that's where even more dissatisfaction happens. So where are you not letting go? Where are you not, pivoting your energy, your thoughts, your feelings? If you're not feeling happy, if you're not feeling satisfied, if you're in worry, if you're in chaos, and if you're in that, pivot your energy and your thoughts towards something that is smaller, that feels good, that feels fulfilling. What can you step into and put your focus on that maybe isn't that big ticket item that you've got all that worry wrapped up, but you've got so much momentum around worry. You've got the snowball of worry going. And right now you can't change that, okay? You cannot change that. When you've got so much momentum in that worry and in that fear, you're not going to be able to impact it. So the best thing you can do is to look at something else and start to focus over there, because when you start to make changes in another area and you build positive energy in this area over here, then you actually start to let go of that resistance over here. So everything works together, okay? It all works together. Bring your attention to something that is not so hard for you to grasp a hold of in the happiness category, in the fulfillment category, in that pleasure category. Go pay attention to something else. And then open up and get your eyes, your ears, your feeling, just your attention out into the world so that you can find your huskies today, because that's exactly what needs to happen. Those signs are out there. Those messages are out there. Ask and ye shall receive. And I truly do mean that. So start asking, but you've got to pay attention and actually look for the signs instead of looking for them not to appear. Start looking for them to appear. Put the expectation out there. Expectation is where desire and belief meet. So make sure that you're putting your expectation out there so that those things can come to you. Wow, that was interesting. Somebody just tried to Facebook call me and it totally messed up my everything. Wow. Okay, thank you for hanging with me, you guys who hung with me. All right, I don't even remember. I was like, how do I get rid of this person? Shame on them for not knowing that I'm on. They should have gotten notice. Anyway, okay, so go and Find where you are not letting go. Ask yourself those questions. Look for the pivot, look for the energy change. And as always, stop existing, start living. You are worthy of a fuck yes life. You are worthy of your dreams, your goals. Get your dream boat going. Get your dream boat going and let go of the resistance. Let go of the fear, because that's not going to ever get you where you want to be. And that is definitely not in soul alignment. I love you guys. As always, if I said anything in here that touched you in any fashion or form, hit the share button. Help me share Conscious Coffees. Thank you for your likes, your loves. You'll see in the comments section consult application for one-on-one, as I do work with lots of people all over the world. I actually only have 2 spots open I went and hired 13 as of this morning, 13 new clients in the last 10 days. Absolutely crazy, awesome, crazy, but that's what happens when you are in the flow and everything. So I only have 2 client spots open. So there you have it. But if you are wanting one-on-one coaching and wanting to learn how to let go, how to step into your flow, into your worthiness, into your power, definitely message me for details on all my offerings on that. And I will catch you guys tomorrow with another Conscious Coffee. Bye, everybody.